We are recording.
Yeah. So no Ivan.
No Ivan.
No
He'll
Ivan.
be back next week.
So Ivan, what? 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock today. Ivan, what? Here.
Ivan calls and he's all like, "We were going to record tonight, are we?" Like, yeah, we record every Monday night for the last 2 years. Pretty much.
There have been some exceptions. I mean, we have had
holidays.
this conversation before, like holidays and stuff. But I mean, like, where are you going? It's not like we can go. Well, that's not true. I guess you can kind of go places, but it's not like you can have a lot of people over or do anything. I mean,
Unless you're in Wisconsin.
yeah.
Oh my God. Last week, I got a picture of downtown Lake Geneva, and it was assholes and elbows on the sidewalk.
Absolutely.
Like, no, don't screw this up.
Everybody.
I've got shit to do in September. Don't screw this
good luck
up,
with
people.
That. Good luck with that. You know, I cannot tell you how many people every time you post a picture about people being out there, like, nothing says that no, we can't do that. There's nothing wrong with it. We need to allow herd immunity or whatever the hell it is. It's like, okay, I'm done.
Okay, here's my one coronavirus story of the week. And this is it. This pretty much trumps it all. Okay. Guy came in, no mask on. I guess he was told off by another employee. Wants to see the manager. Like, okay. So I get the manager over here, and the manager says, "What? You going to need a mask, sir?" He said, "No, I don't need a mask. I have a concealed carry permit."
What? What does that have anything to do with anything?
Apparently, he thinks that if you have a concealed carry, you cannot conceal your face. And that is bullshit. So
well, I'll take it a step further. Is it that, or it's, I have a concealed carry, I have a gun, you will let me not have to wear a mask?
I don't think it was veiled as a threat. The dude was just wanted an excuse, and I've checked with my one of my 2A people, and he's like, "No, that's bullshit." So Gary showed him the door.
Yeah, there's nothing, no.
Yeah, my boss showed him the door promptly.
I have a concealed carry permit.
It's like, well, this is not the Old West. I'm like, you carrying your 6-gun, and I got my bandana and my black hat, and I can't show my face. I was like, get out. We're all like, bye, Felicia.
That's the dumbest thing.
It's absolutely stupid. It's baseless.
Dude, you gotta post that story. That's hysterical.
Now, maybe if people would listen to the Squares the Round Table podcast, they'd be able to listen. Episode 101. We're starting over.
Yeah. Maybe we should. Maybe we should be like, okay, volume 2 or something like that.
Yeah, season 3. Yeah, year 3.
Season 3, volume whatever.
Yeah, year 3 or something.
Although, didn't we hit? We already passed that. No, we don't. We didn't get to year 2 yet.
This is our 3rd year, so.
Well, right. This is our 3rd year, but.
Yeah.
What is it, 52 episodes in a season?
Yeah, well, 50, but I'm like, we've skipped a couple because of holidays.
Right.
And just technical difficulties as well, so.
Yeah, right, so we're a little behind.
Yeah, we're about a month. We're like 2 years and a month. Yeah, anyway, so I hope everybody's doing well. I hope y'all doing good. So, yeah. Let's tell you, we're recording on Memorial Day.
Yes.
And it's Star Wars Day, apparently the day... A New Hope and the Return of the Jedi came out, and Towel Day, which is related to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I never read. Like Lily, honestly, I never read it.
Okay.
What's his name? Douglas Adams, that's his name. The author of Guardians of the Galaxy. Not Guardians. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I was going to say, yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. Well, so how you been, Jeff? How was your week?
Not bad. So I spent pretty much the entire weekend doing role-playing games online. All day Saturday, I ran...
Did you have to GM?
Yeah, I was getting there. I ran 3 modules on Saturday. 4 hours of... We started at 9, and... we didn't get done until sometime after 11. And it's kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, when I talked to the person initially, I was like, can't we do like one on Sunday and two on Saturday? And the person's like, well, I really don't want to. And I'm like, all right, if you're going to make me do 12 straight hours, there are going to be some concessions. Like, I'm getting in every game on Sunday, and it's games I need and I want that I haven't played yet. Not me replaying anything or anything like that. Games I want to play.
Yeah, you're the large and in charge, man. You should be the one picking them.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. So, no, he was cool with that. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there all week going, I could do this. I didn't think it was possible to get con crud from an online convention. I really didn't. First of all, we go to start, and we're using this Roll20.net online, which apparently there is a paid part of it, but we're using the free service version of it.
Yeah.
And apparently, I'm going to go get online to do it because we're using that. And then ironically, we use Discord to talk, which... Yeah,
we've had our issues with Discord here.
It seems to work. It seems to work for this. I guess I'm just like whatever. I'm not a big Discord fan. And
me neither.
Obviously, because we used to record the show on it, and it sucked.
Yeah. Didn't work well for us.
Right. No, and there's constantly people having problems and dropouts and shit. So I'm like, but that's what they want to use, and I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, I'd rather have like a Skype room or a Facebook Messenger room or something other than that thing. But so I get on there in the morning, and apparently this Roll20 is like down, and I'm like, great. I loaded a whole bunch of shit in there for this morning so that I'd have it ready to go for my games all day. And I'm like, okay, I'll have to figure out how to do this and drop things through Discord so everybody gets it. So that made us about a half hour late. And then I swear to you, it's like, I sent a note in advance because we're supposed to do 1 hour breaks between each of the four. Because I'm like, okay, God, there's going to be an hour break at least between each one, right?
Yeah, it gives you a bathroom and obviously food and,
downtime and all that
just
stuff.
to relax, yeah.
So we kind of start. So we end up starting really. We're really behind. We're kind of behind the eight ball by about a half an hour, 40 minutes, in terms of really kind of getting things moving. And I had sent out something to all my players in advance, going, "Hey, since I have the same players for the entire day, here's how we're going to run it. If we're going to run long, we run long, so be it. It's not a problem. Nobody's got to switch games or anything like that. Basically what I'm going to do is, when we finish, we're going to take a 1 hour break no matter what. Okay, no matter what time it is. And, then we're going to start. Because I was like, okay, at least I'll get an hour break that way. One of the players... So I sent this out in advance. We're coming up close to that time, and I said, well, I'm really glad I sent that email, and everybody didn't say anything. He goes, one of the players was like, I didn't see that email. We need to finish on time. And I'm like, well, and the worst part is the other 5 players are cool. Are cool. This person's just like, nope, we really need to finish on time. And I'm like, well, and like somebody says, can we at least run like maybe a half hour over? He's like, well, I really have to be able to get to sleep on time, so I'm going to be available tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. For my game.
Ah.
And I'm just like, really?
It's his fault he didn't read the email, but at least the other guys in the group were cool with it.
Well, the problem is, of course, the schedule says these are the times it's supposed to go. And it's funny, because I've got the person who is running the entire game day as one of the people in my game. And I'm like, okay, technically he has a point. I have to defer to him versus the other 5 players. So they lost out on a couple combats that I was like, I mean, the irony is we still ended up running a little bit on the long side, too, but I was just like... So instead of getting my hour break, because really I'm not getting an hour anyway, because, you know, you really have to get back there to get started so you can start straight up at the next time slot, which, of course, if you're not doing that, then you're really kind of 10, 15 minutes. You lose 10, 15 minutes right there.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so really in reality, I ended up with on Saturday, I think I ended up with 20-minute breaks.
Oh, instead of 1 hour?
Right. And the worst is it's really sunny out and nice outside. I'm like, oh, good. At least I'll get one period of time where I can sit outside.
Yeah, at least get some fresh air. And...
Right. Because God knows I'm stuck in my bed, my bedroom essentially with my laptop, but I can't go anywhere. I mean, I could take the laptop out. The problem is if I take it outside, especially with the train and everything, I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work. And with everything I got where I got to look at papers and stuff like that, I'm like, this isn't going to work. I can't go outside. And, if I go to certain other parts of the apartment, my mom's there. So it's like, okay, this isn't going to work.
It's going to mess with the microphone too. Well, the wind outside.
Right. That too. Not to mention the fact it's like, okay, I can't even use the party room downstairs for the condo because of all the COVID-19 stuff. I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work. I'm like, okay, so I was pretty much stuck in there for 12 hours.
So we had 3 sessions with 20-minute breaks each instead of 1 hour breaks each.
I mean, in fairness, we did take a bio break halfway through sometimes some of the modules.
Okay, yeah.
But,
right.
But yeah, and of course, I was kind of laughing because it's like, God bless players. I had forgotten how much of a joy it is to run 12 straight hours of players. And especially when you have to be on time, you have to be cognizant of time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, why are you doing that? No. Okay. You're wasting a lot of time on something that doesn't even... I mean, it got to the point where I literally at one point said to the players, I'm like, you're absolutely right. That's something that you should think about if it was important to the module at all. And they're like, oh. I'm like...
That's a bitch slap.
Well, because it's like, you try to be I mean, I tried to be subtle initially. It's like, yeah, you're not really finding any information about that. Well, maybe we'll find another way to find information about that. Yeah, that's not something you're finding much about.
Jeff's pimp hand.
And I'm just like, how more blatant do I have to be? That it's like, no, this isn't helping you. You're not going the right direction. You don't even have a... And then it was... I shouldn't say that. They were all really cool about things, and it was good. It was just, players are hysterical. Just like if there's anything that looks like a trap. I swear to God, the best way... I've come to a conclusion, Mike, the next time I write a module, and I should do this because I've done it before, where I have things that look like a trap, and so nobody will go that direction or do anything, and really all the traps should be everywhere else.
It's a trap.
It's like, just go in the room and deal with it.
Yeah.
That's where the module is. Stop it.
This is adventure gaming, not like play it safe all the time gaming.
Yeah, unless you're playing the Scooby-Doo role-playing game. Get the fuck in there.
That's right.
I mean,
Towards the danger.
I mean, it's like, I get it. Sometimes I'm like that too when I play, but I'm like, at some point, it's like, it depends. In fairness, it depends on the GM who's running too, the game master. Because some game masters, it's like, just go in there, and I'm like, look at him going, I've seen you kill people. Fuck that, I'm not going. Okay, I'm not really one of the people who's known for killing people, although I do scare the crap out of people really well. Which is
I've had this character for a month. Okay, I'm not gonna re-roll another one.
Month, more like years. Yeah, some of these people have had these characters for. I don't think we had any of any of it this time in the modules I was running. But some people have characters that have been around for decades.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, the game, the campaign I'm a part of is what's called Sparks. It's through Gamebase 7, and that campaign started in the mid to late 90s as an ongoing at Gen Con and Origins, and has kind of branched out. I want to say, I don't remember what modules number we're up to now. I want to say we're up to like 260 something modules.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
And that doesn't include 3-round modules, interactives. That doesn't include seminars or missions. So
what's
really,
the name of this? Called Sparks?
Yeah, it's based on the D6 Star Wars campaign.
Okay.
The D6 Star Wars system that West End came out with back in, I want to say the 80s. Maybe the 80s or the 90s. It's a really easy system, too. I mean, it's like, honestly, the nice part about that game system is first of all, you can get everybody, if you really want to, you could get everybody playing in 15 minutes. You really could. With new players. The second part is, you don't have to buy all the crazy dice. All you need is D6s.
And everybody's got a D6 in their home.
Right. Go into your Monopoly set. Get a whole bunch of your D6s.
Right, or get your Yahtzee game or whatever.
Right. Go into the only thing is you need one die of a different color because they do what's called a wild die system, which is if you roll 6 on that dice, you can roll it. If you can roll it again. If you roll another 6, you can keep rolling. If you and until you stop rolling a 6 to add into your score. However, if you roll a 1, you subtract the highest die and the 1, or you keep the score as is, and you have what's known as a complication.
Okay.
Kind of like the best way I could explain complication is, when Han Solo's doing we're fine, everyone's fine, people are in the detention center, everyone's fine, people are fine, things are great.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Who are you? What's your comlink number?
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna have to blast it because it doesn't matter. We're screwed.
Yeah.
That's the best example of the Han Solo.
Well,
obviously
you fumbled pretty much.
Yeah, you fumbled. There's the complication. Good news. Yeah, you get the idea. But
well, glad you had a good time. Sounds like it maybe had a good time.
Yeah, no, and on Sunday I had a good time. The one thing I'm finding that's interesting about playing RPGs online is you have to, and I feel like, look, you know me, I feel like I'm a pretty assertive person, but keep in mind, so we're playing on Discord and we're not really using video very much. So what I'm noticing is that, you really have to be really, really aggressive and really, really assertive to, get in there and get time sometimes as a player to do things. Because you really have to, there was times when I'm literally, okay, I haven't talked in a while. So, it's just weird because, some of the things that
and audio, it's a different dynamic and
right.
But without being in front of someone, sentences could be taken out of context and might be,
That's not as much of a problem as it's okay, you can't do anything like raise your hand and be polite or something like that.
Right, everyone's interjecting. Right.
Right. And you're for example, it's kind of like offensive driving. You can't be the person who's just well, I'm going to wait for this person to pull, and I'm going to get
right. You're never going to get to merge into traffic.
You're never going to get to merge.
Right.
It's rare. In fairness, maybe it was some of the groups I was playing with where it just felt like that. I was just that's the only thing I found interesting is so far it just feels like you really have to be okay, I'm going to get my time.
It's my time to shine.
Right, it's my time to play. I want to play. And it's kind of weird because it's I don't really think of I'm certainly assertive and I get my time usually when we're playing face-to-face, but I don't usually feel all that comfortable having to be that assertive at times. So I'm okay, now I really have to like be over the top aggressive, and it's like, ugh. It's like, okay, almost like gaming Darwinism or something. So, but yeah, that was cool. So my Saturday and Sunday were totally like booked up, and then today, just kind of enjoying the nice weather and got outside, got to hang out by the trains and.
Yeah, we got a little bit of, obviously we got a bit of rain, not so much as last weekend, but we got the rain.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. But yeah, what about you? Did you do anything cool for the weekend or the...
No, not really. Just working. And of course I had to cut the grass again because it's growing so fast because of the rain and the humidity. And when it's not raining, it's beautiful out. And that's not... helping with we've just been so busy. I got word down from the manager today that this month could be our highest sales month ever.
Wow.
Because everyone is out and everyone's working on their home and it's making my job very tough. I mean, I come home and I eat and I sleep and of course, with having to wear a mask all day, and you're home, you're sweaty, you're dehydrated, you're just exhausted from running because we've been so busy. So yeah, just been chasing us paper presidents. You know how it is for me.
Yeah.
So, and I'm fine with that.
Well, and dealing with apparently people who believe that you don't have to wear a mask because that's concealed carry.
Because they have a concealed carry.
Concealed carry. That's the
best one.
I'm sharing that. I'm sharing that one online, and somebody told me that one.
Nope.
You know what they're going to tell me? They're going to tell me, "Oh, you made that one up." I'm
nope.
like, nope.
Nope. That's legit.
No, I really did not. True story.
And this guy was one of our who worked at one of our major clients. We don't know if we don't think it's the owner, but I don't think so. But anyway, yeah, he just trying to get away with not having to wear a mask. It's like, dude, just come on. Just if not, it's not for you. Anyway, I'm done talking about masks.
Well,
I'm really.
You know what's the worst part is?
Yeah.
There are going to be people complaining about this whole summer thing again about can't wait to get Halloween. You had a whole bunch of time you could be in Halloween. You were wearing masks. You could have wore any mask you want.
Yeah, and there's like, oh boy, Halloween. I'm like, we're in masks for 2 months.
Yeah.
Where you been?
Yeah. Halloween's been early. Come on.
So,
they're like,
I guess
not the same. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sure.
Pritzker has brought the word down that I guess we're opening partially on Friday.
I don't know.
So I'm downloading the Great Clips app because I'm getting my ass a haircut next weekend. I don't care if I got to wear a friggin' spacesuit.
Yeah, you and everybody else.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to download the app so I can get my appointment in solid.
Yeah. No, that's... So wait, So Ivan is with what?
Ivan's with his daughter and her boyfriend.
Oh, the boyfriend.
She came to visit. So, and he's like, yeah, I haven't seen her in a while. I haven't seen his daughter in a while. So I'm like, okay.
That's not what that's about. That's about the boyfriend.
Well, yeah, Ivan, have the shotgun behind him.
Exactly. Yeah, man. I need my concealed carry right here, baby.
Maybe. I'm sure. I think he's met her. Or I don't know.
That doesn't matter. That's his baby. Yeah, you can't do that.
Anyway, so yeah, Ivan will be back.
There's laws about that shit. I mean, I got godkids, and even I know that. It's like, who's that guy? Who is he? What's he about? And she's like, "Are you gonna stop?" Not yet. I haven't felt like I filled my quota yet for this shit. One of my goddaughters, God bless her, I said, just don't bring one around like the last one you brought in. She's like, yeah, okay, that guy was bad. I said, yeah. Yeah, you mean the guy who was 26 years old, who was in junior college and telling me about his dreams to play in the NBA?
What?
And that was his career life goal?
Okay.
I'm like, and where are you at again? He tells me, like, this college. I'm like, I've never heard of that college. He's like, oh, it's a junior college. And I'm like, sitting there, and I'm like, how old are you again? 26. You're 26.
And you're not in the NBA yet.
You're in a junior college, and you're going into the NBA. Yeah. It was funny. You went to go to the bathroom, and I looked at her, I'm like, when are you dumping him? And she's like, he's nice. I said, I don't care how nice he is. That guy is more... I mean, I guess it's possible. But if he hasn't got to the NBA yet, I mean, come on.
Yeah. I had a niece. Well, I have a niece, but she had a boyfriend, and they broke up, thank goodness. But this guy was not a cool dude. And later, then he had friends who got in trouble with the law, and my brother-in-law was all like, get rid of him, dump him, get rid of him. So, but it happened eventually because she figured out who he was, and yeah, he was not a cool dude. So,
yeah, I think in fairness, he was a good guy. I just think he was a little bit, it seemed like they were trying to. I wouldn't say they got serious, but they'd been dating in a while. So, there's the part where you're like, kind of like, okay. I need to at least vent a little bit. And, I'm venting and I'm like kind of sitting there going, okay, dokie.
Speaking of venting, it's time for Jeff to vent because we're getting into news.
Oh, no, I'm not venting anymore. I don't feel the need to vent. I think it's great. I think I am demanding the director's cut of The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Go for it.
I mean, seriously. Why not? How about what do we want, Mike? What do we want? How about we I know.
We got the Donner cut of Superman after all these years.
Yeah, but that's okay. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's kind of weird because it's like, but that took a long time.
Long ass time.
And that doesn't feel like this does.
No, this is a different dynamic altogether.
Yeah, this just feels very, very different.
So, for those not in the know, we are talking about finally releasing the Snyder Cut of Justice League.
Yes, and in fairness, I want to dispute that. It's not really the Snyder Cut because they're dumping another 20 to 30 million into this thing.
What, they're doing more filming?
I don't know. For post-production, supposedly...
Maybe more like finishing the visual effects?
Maybe some of that.
Yeah.
I've heard stuff about bringing people in to revoice lines.
Oh, my God. Then it's not a cut. Then...
Right.
This is this is Redux. This is more of DC covering their ass.
Forget that. It's exact... What is the episode we talked about this?
And lots of them.
Well, no, but we talked about... No, the one where we called this. We seriously called this on this show. That this is exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah,
which is that they were gonna give in and they were gonna put it behind the paywall for
either DC Universe or
HBO
something.
Max.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're doing. Is that and the best is I've heard rumblings that they're gonna break it into episodes rather than a movie. God. They're gonna break it in. Well, okay. As I said the other day on my Facebook page, okay, and I was saying to people, you watch. It's gonna be 6 episodes. You want to know why it's gonna be 6 episodes, Mike? That's 2 months.
Right. It's 2 months. Not just one.
Right. That's 2 months.
You got to get 2 months subscription, and by that, most people are all in for the year.
Well, and that's why I kind of laugh about it because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about this and I'm like, because all of a sudden I heard something where Snyder's talking about, they might cut it into episodes. Sure, they're going to cut it into episodes. They're not going to cut it into, I mean, if they cut it into 4, because they're talking about making it 4 hours now. 4 or more. Ugh. Okay? Sure, cut it into episodes. Sure, that makes sense. If you're gonna air it on HBO Max, sure, you can cut it into episodes. You got plenty of time. You can, I mean,
at that point, it's not a movie; it's a miniseries.
Right. Well, and that's, I hate to say it. Think about this: with everything going on with the COVID-19 thing and all this stuff, and you may not be able to get any new launched product that is a DC type product on HBO Max until sometime late 2021, maybe 2022, and you know that that's the kind of stuff that drives people to come watch, why not bring out the Snyder Cut?
You've got all this extra footage lying around. All you have to do is finish it and cobble it together.
Right. It'll take less time.
Yeah.
It'll take less time.
Stuff they can do without actually filming.
Right. And HBO Max is going to cost like $15 a month.
Ugh.
So, well, in fairness, it does include HBO. You know, it does include a regular subscription to HBO to it. And I don't know if it includes Cinemax too. But you get the idea, which is you get that and you get the library and whatever new content you can do on demand. But yeah, I mean, think about it. Sure, you're going to do episodes, and if they're smart, if they only do 4 episodes, they'll release it so that it releases in the middle of a month on purpose, or they'll do 6 episodes on purpose so that you have to pay for 2 months. They're going to win.
It'll make the first one free for like 2 weeks or something.
Maybe.
To get people to watch.
Maybe.
And then
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll do that at all.
Ugh.
I mean, there's
Snyder
enough
Cut.
people being... There's enough... Hey, look. These guys... This is the part I laugh about. They think they won. And in the end, I guess technically they sort of won. But they're missing the bigger picture, which is... You know, here's the thing. Yeah, okay, you got what you wanted. Now you're going to pay through the nose for it. The only thing that really somewhat terrifies me is if they, you know, here's the thing. When you're dumping another 20 to 30 million in this thing, maybe it might get better.
Yeah, there's also that possibility that
it might get better.
You know you hated Justice League. I was
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. I thought Justice League was okay.
Okay.
I think it was great. I hated Thor Ragnarok, which everybody was like, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
But I thought Justice League was okay, and I could.
Yeah, so did I. I mean, I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it. And in fairness, you can tell where Joss Whedon came in, and it's like
and tried to yuck it up with some of his Avengers style comedy and banter, and it just didn't work.
Based on some, to me it worked. To me it worked because I was like, oh god, all this Drek and dark crap, and it's like, oh good, something with some. Oh, there's Joss's stuff. Good, thank God. Okay. I don't know. I like I said, to me, it just, I mean, it's like I said, I just love the fact that we're on this show and we called this like a year ago. I want to think it's like a year plus. I can't remember.
I don't recall what episode it was.
Right, I can't recall what episode it is. But we called this on the show, which is this is exactly what they were going to do. That this is what they were going to do. We didn't think about the episode option.
And of course, we didn't we didn't predict the quarantine causing filming to stop everywhere.
No,
so.
Right, we didn't do that. But this was one of those times where we kind of like, you know, I just kind of laughed because it's like, this was such a, I mean, especially now with the quarantine, it's such a no-brainer. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's just like, sure. I'm just curious. Here's the thing I'm curious about, and you tell me.
No.
If this thing works.
This will probably, hopefully, kickstart the DC universe.
Well, supposedly they had all this whole plan now.
Yeah, I mean, well, it seemed like once a month they had a different plan for the DCEU. It was different every month.
Right, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, this is, I mean, the worst part is with some of the things that have turned out to be successful versus the things that they had hoped to be successful has basically made it where they don't have a cohesive concept at all.
No, I think they're smarter doing their one-offs like they've been doing that are independent from each other.
Well,
but they're trying to find what works and stick it together and glue it together, tape it, whatever.
So here's the interesting part, and this is where things get interesting with it because we can kind of bring this in another conversation that I saw something interesting, which was, oh, here, it's on the Squares page, where basically, so apparently the Black Adam movie that they're doing with The Rock, some of the characters within that movie are going to include members of the Justice Society. Justice Society of America. And supposedly some of the characters that they're talking about include Atom Smasher, Hawkman and Hawkgirl, which makes sense because Black Adam is sort of tied to that too, and Dr. Fate. And apparently someone called Cyclone. What I'm laughing about is I don't see Shazam listed at all, which is weird.
Yeah.
But here's the weird part of this. See, it's funny. Is it the 90s or the 2000s? They kind of tied the history of Hawkman and Hawkgirl to Black Adam from back in the day, with the fact that the Hawks basically were reincarnated from the Egyptian times, and that they actually all have a connection. So
that race has a tie to ancient Egypt?
Well, no. At some point, they kind of... Yeah, see, they kind of did away with the Thangarian thing, with the whole from another planet thing.
Right.
And they kind of brought them more towards a reincarnation. They get reincarnated every certain amount of time and whatnot, and and that they have memories of dealing with Black Adam back in ancient times. But, so the long and the short of it is, where I was trying to go with this is, if this works, and some of these Justice Society characters work out, they're talking about the possibility of being able to spin out a Justice Society movie from this. And if that's the case, like some people have theorized, and I'm going to guess you'll guess where I'm going to go with this, which is, how hard would it be to stick Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa in a Justice Society of America movie?
Right.
And have them join up rather than the Justice League.
Oh, that's right. Did you see Stargirl?
I did.
Okay.
I did, and I was going to get to that too. But
okay.
Like I said, this is the part where it's very interesting. There's a lot of moving parts right now, and you have a leadership with DC Comics. I shouldn't say DC Comics. You have a leadership with Warner Brothers that they will go wherever the wind takes them, and whatever's working for them to make money at the moment, and anywhere they can grab money. And they don't have I don't feel like they'll throw that cohesive strategy out the door and out the window in seconds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We've seen it. They've seen their plan for the DCU turn on a dime. Thank goodness they didn't go the Joaquin Phoenix Joker route.
Well, and there's still talk. There's still talk about
there's talk about everything.
Right. There's still talk that they're going to give that guy the opportunity to make more movies like that with DC characters. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And it's like, they think, well, look at what we did with Joker and how acclaimed it was and what we got out of it and how much money we made and all that stuff. And, they think that they can get away with it. The other thing is, I don't know if you caught this. This is my favorite. So, apparently, get this. I saw this today. You'll get a kick out of this. So David Ayers, who was the guy who was in charge of the Suicide Squad, has now confirmed that his cut of the Suicide Squad from 2016 from the DCEU is nearly complete, and would only take a few special effects works that need to be fixed. And that this is a possibility too. And you know what? Sure, why not? Sure, why not? If you can do depending on how things go with the Justice League thing, sure, why not? You need content for HBO Max. My favorite is, and this is where and we'll get to Stargirl in a second, but this is the part that makes me laugh. The part that makes me laugh about this is some of this I don't mind. Some of this I'm just sitting here and it's like, it's fan service. It's all about fan service now. Fan service is, these companies are going to do anything they can to get fans to put their money down. And, like, it's funny, there's already trending on Twitter, make Solo 2 happen for the Han Solo thing.
Yeah, Solo, well, was...
Right, we liked it.
It was all right, but it wasn't as successful as they had hoped, obviously.
Right, the problem was the money, and some of it having
put
to
it,
do with it.
Right after Avengers, so...
And Deadpool.
Yeah.
They put it in a really
They
bad
had a lot
spot.
of competition that year, that's for sure.
Right, and then there were still people mad about Episode 8. So...
Yeah, that was the next movie after 8.
Right, and I think that didn't help things either. But yeah, I mean, already there's make Solo 2 happen. So we're going to see a lot of this now. And I'll tell you this, if the Justice League thing is successful next year, you're going to see
a lot more fan
You're
service.
going to see a lot more of this type of stuff about
give the people what they want.
Give the fans what they want. Seriously, I'm kind of at the point now where it's like I joked today. You'll get a kick out of this. Sure, let's do Choose Your Own Adventure.
Didn't they do a movie like that where they had kind of had I don't remember if they had buttons in the audience or whatever where people get to choose which option, the hero goes through which door or whatever.
I really just feel like it's I almost feel like it's okay. We're going to show the movie and we're going to stop here. Well, and now we're going to bring in a focus group. And then we'll have the rest of the movie for you after we're done with the focus group. I don't know. I mean, it's that's what it seems like for
just accept the story for what it is. And if you don't like the ending, then I'm sorry, but that's how we wrote it.
Well, I kind of laugh because it's who was I talking to recently where it was when you're trying to make it something, I was talking about something and they were like, you're trying to make it something that it's not. And I'm like, yeah, because apparently that's allowable now. I mean, I just...
Well, look at the fans who got upset because they thought that Boba Fett was eaten by the Sarlacc. And didn't George was still in charge when they kind of retconned that, he escaped the Sarlacc pit?
That happened ironically, that happened in the comics.
And that was with George's approval, I presume.
I would assume so.
Because he had tight reins over everything back then.
Quite frankly, I just think it's somebody came up with I'm sorry. And, of course, on top of that, not only Solo is getting that, we are getting the Save Daredevil. We're getting Save Daredevil, so there's that, too. I'm telling you, this is going to now be a thing.
And you'll be part of that hashtag Save Iron Fist, right?
Sure. Absolutely. I need to find my chi. Actually, hashtag I need to find my chi too.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, we're in a new world now. And with
do you think this is the modern evolution of all these comic book films and geek culture films moving to the forefront, that now we're in charge of the creative processes in a way?
God, I hope.
Do you think this is the natural evolution of, the nerds have spoken and now they need this to happen? Oh, they can't have that character die. The nerds say we can't let that character die. But you killed him.
I always kind of laugh because in comic books it's not like anybody's dying anyway. Nobody permanently dies.
And in science fiction, the best way to bring a character back is to kill them. Because they come back in a cool, crazy way.
I mean, seriously, the only character that I've ever been aware of that for a period of time was dead and stayed dead was Barry Allen. And then they brought him back. They finally said, screw it, we're bringing him back. I mean, if you're going to bring back Barry Allen after 30-something years, I mean, nobody's dead. I mean, look at what happened to Jason Todd. They brought Jason Todd back from the dead after the Joker hit him with a crowbar. By the way, that's the most popular meme we might have ever shared on the Squarespace.
Yeah, on our Squarespace page. It got a lot of traction, yeah.
Yeah, Just
Robin, my plans, and 2020 is a Joker with the crowbar.
Is a crowbar.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just cold-blooded.
Yeah.
That is just wrong.
That is, yeah. But anyway, I was getting quick, my thoughts on DC here before you get into Stargirl is that I was thinking about renting that Apocalypse War, Justice League Dark.
Oh, yeah?
Looks interesting. I think I'll try and catch it this week. Honestly, yesterday I kind of vegged after cutting the grass in the 80-degree weather and 1,000% humidity.
Sure.
So I was gonna rent it yesterday, but I didn't. So maybe I'll catch it tomorrow. But Justice League. Oh, and I did see that the Harley Quinn movie is out on DVD now.
Oh, is it? It's been on demand. I need to get to it.
Yeah,
before
it's out on disc. And one thing I saw at the store, I was getting my essentials with my groceries. Oh my God, in the stores. Are you adhering to the arrows on the floor?
I'm trying to, but nobody else is.
Exactly. A lot of people walking around looking straight up at the ceiling as they're walking down the aisle. But I did see that they released a 4K cut of Top Gun. So Top Gun's out in 4K.
Okay.
I presume this was going to happen to help promote the Top Gun movie, which we haven't gotten yet.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be out. I think it was supposed to be out by now, right?
Yeah, somewhere around now.
Yeah, so this is soon. So they put out the first Top Gun in 4K. So thinking about getting, man. That's still one of great action films.
Yeah, no.
But it still holds up, man.
Oh, did you see? I think we put it on the Squares page. Did you see the? Somebody took a whole bunch of Star Wars like space battles and hooked it up to
Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone. Yeah,
that was freaking amazing.
It's like some of the space battles in Rogue One. I think of like some of the most engaging.
Yeah, there's some good stuff
of Star Wars. Like you seeing like the first person view of the X-wings as they're coming out of hyperspace, and they're all of a sudden they're in the shit. They're in the middle of it.
There's some really good stuff, like the start of Revenge of the Sith, when they have to.
Oh that navigate. Opening shot from Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I dig that, man.
God forbid you have a recliner and that you've drinking too much and you're watching that from an angle.
Yeah, you get motion sickness, man.
Because you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Wow. Not that I would know about anything about that.
Go to the Squares Roundtable Facebook page. You'll find the video, but it's Star Wars space battles set to Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins.
No, that's
awesome,
good
man.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think, but that's...
So all I know of Stargirl is her character in a few episodes of Justice League Unlimited. That's all I know about Stargirl.
Okay. So Stargirl's actually been on TV before, technically. She's been on TV before twice.
Was in Smallville?
Smallville is one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Legends of Tomorrow has actually had Stargirl, but they have her back in like the 40s or 50s.
Huh.
Okay. And this is technically the Earth 2 Stargirl.
Okay.
That's, and she was teased from Crisis on Infinite Earth. So this is just, that's the best way to put it. And, sorry, my brain just went to mush.
This is an origin story, right? This is how she came to be.
Yes. Well, I don't know if it's changed or not, but that's the story that's being told. And so at the end of Crisis of Infinite Earths, if you remember, they actually showed her on her.
Yeah, there was a brief snippet of her with her lance or whatever.
So here's the deal. This show isn't just a CW show. It's getting shown on Mondays in full cut without any commercials on DCU.
Nice.
On DC Universe. The other reason why that's important is the production levels are much better, and the money being put in is much better than what you would see on a CW show.
Oh, okay. Got some.
Actually,
well, for a pilot, I mean, they got to put the money into the pilot.
No. You gotta understand. I mean, they put, obviously, because of the fact that basically it's a joint venture between CW and they basically are making some money by the fact that they're putting on CW, and CW coughed and put in some cough. You get the idea. So there's a part of that. And then the other part is, keep in mind too, it's Jeff Johns. So here's the irony. Jeff Johns was basically thrown out of doing all the movies. Okay? And they allowed him to continue working on this project, which is the Stargirl project. Okay? So it's Johns uninhibited by anybody creating Stargirl the way he wants to do it. So, and keep in mind, Jeff Johns is kind of one of the reasons why that character got to prominence. I can't remember if it's the late 90s or the early 2000s when JSA kind of made their comeback with David Goyer and Jeff Johns and with those writers, because there was a period where they kind of had their big renaissance of return to like real prominence. Like at one point, they were a better book than Justice League, and it was a better read by far. So yeah, he's in charge of it. The casting is amazing. Luke Wilson's in it. Joel McHale is in it. Amy Smart is in it. You know, that's a little surprising. They got some really decent sized names for this thing. I'll tell you right now, the first 5 minutes of Stargirl is one of the most kick-ass scenes I've ever seen on TV for any superhero TV show. I mean, it's just badass.
Cool.
It needs to be seen. And this is the kind of show, with the way that it's being written and the way it's being done, it's perfect. If you are a superhero fan, you're going to love this show. If you have kids, they're going to love this show.
Isn't that dark? It's not like the DC dark.
No.
Total
well,
darkness.
There's some darkness to it, but not like that.
It's not. Okay.
Not like, yeah, not.
It's
like
for kids. There's
not
no
Martha. There's no Martha going on.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, that's the other joke I had about the Snyder Cut. Oh, so you're going to add 40 minutes of them going Martha, 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 Martha?
Yeah. That was the fake articles that HBO Max has approved the Snyder Cut because they suddenly found out that all their mothers are named Martha.
Yep, absolutely. but yeah, no, I really liked it. The quality level on the creation is good. The girl who plays Stargirl is fun. It's really, I'll say this, like I said, you can watch this show with your mom. You could probably watch this show with your kids. At the same time, it's a very quality superhero show. And I can say that from the first episode, where just watching the first episode, I'm impressed. And it's a high recommend for me.
Okay. Is the first episode a 1 hour pilot, or how long is the first episode?
Yeah, it's a 1 hour pilot.
Okay,
and you can pick it up on CW On Demand right now.
Oh, all right. And I'll check it out.
So you can do that. It's funny. They just aired the pilot again on Sunday. So I'm curious if they're going to, on Sundays, they're going to re-air their episodes like that, or if they're not going to do that. If that's going to be a regular thing. That would be kind of cool if it is.
Yeah. If it's hopefully, then, hopefully they'll put, I presume they want people to subscribe to DC Universe, but hopefully they'll put more than one episode. Eventually they'll get more free episodes on the CW demand. We'll see.
In fairness, I think they're releasing them. Like I said, I think it's basically, okay, you get if you have DC Universe, it's like, okay, you get it on Monday. If you're on CW, you get it on Tuesday.
Okay.
And the only thing is and this is in fairness, right now I don't know anybody who has DC Universe, so I can't ask if there's stuff you don't get or it's just there's no commercials. I don't know which it is. If there's like a couple of scenes we don't get because of TV, because it's network or something like that, you get the idea.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
No, it's solid. It's first episode was really solid. It's a lot of fun. Good characterizations. In fairness, I just keep saying in fairness. The problem is it's only one episode, but you mentioned we talked about JSA. Well, JSA is going to play a part in this. We already, I don't think I'm giving anything away when I say this. We've already seen a bunch of classic JSA villains, including Brainwave. So that's
in the CW verse, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. So we're going to see. I do not expect this show to ever cross over with the CW show, the regular Arrowverse CW shows. Oh yeah,
we got some other CW verse news.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So Ruby Rose is not. This is a very strange one. Nobody's really talking about what or why, and there's all kinds of rumors about why she left Batwoman.
I think she did a good job.
I thought she was solid.
Yeah.
She's taken a lot of hits, some of it because of, the fact about how the show is very, towards, people keep calling that like I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, and yeah, I don't.
Well, they weren't, what do you say? They weren't driving it home very hard during the Crisis miniseries.
Right, but they did kind of in the early portions at points.
Of the early part of that season, yeah.
And then they've got they have Rachel Maddow playing this talk show radio host who kind of is in between to kind of give us some flavor, and I think it's okay. And it's like, but there's a lot of people who are like, why do they have to have Rachel Maddow? Blah blah blah, and it gets political, and it's like
liberal media.
Yeah, it's like she's not even doing.
She's just a character. She's just reporting.
She's just doing a character.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's a journalist. Let the journalists be journalists. It's just like,
yeah.
I don't have a problem.
Yeah, this
with
isn't even journalists.
It's like the Bay movies had both Anderson Cooper and Bill O'Reilly. I mean, like, that's fine. Let them be the journalists that they are. It doesn't matter.
Anyway. If you really want to talk about it, yeah, sure. You know what? You're absolutely right. There's a part of me where I'm like, sure,
yep, she's a journalist.
Go get Hannity to be a talking head for once. I'd be okay with that as long as it's not ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, if he follows the script. I mean,
yeah,
I don't care.
But anyway, so that's too bad because Ruby Rose she seemed like she did a good job from the episodes I saw.
In fairness, there are some things about that show where it took a while for it to come together. There's still some aspects of that show that need work. Yeah, it's. I can see where people didn't like certain things about it being choppy or this or that, and now that the season is over, I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it.
And I think the fan reception to Crisis was pretty good.
Right. Crisis had good fan reception.
Yeah.
Batwoman's numbers were okay, but they weren't great. It'll be interesting to see if, depending on who they pull and what they do to reboot, how that works. But yeah, I thought it was. I didn't think it was spectacular, but I did find it. I thought the characters were interesting. I thought it was worthwhile. I didn't get a lot of they're portraying feminism and all this stuff. It's like, and it's over the top. I'm like, no, I don't feel that. But then I'm not one who really looks at that.
Well, a lot of fans weren't happy with the lesbian relationship in the Supergirl series.
Yeah, and the fact that the person playing Dreamer is trans, and that show's taken some hits for it. And by the way, that show, now that the seasons are over, I can talk a little bit about it. I thought Batwoman, obviously some of these shows ended sooner than usual, but I'm going to try to do this spoiler free. Batwoman for season 1, it was clunky at times. It needs work. Yes. They need to pull things together a little bit more. But I liked a lot of the characters, and I thought they were interesting. So to me, I would definitely say if you're stuck in COVID-19, sure, give it a shot, take a look at it, and see what you think. I certainly was impressed about the fact that they've had Hush as part of the season 1, and that that's a big Batman villain. I never expected to see Hush on one of the TV shows. That's kind of cool. So to me, I'm kind of impressed by that, and I won't deal with the cliffhanger, but there's a decent sized cliffhanger for season 1 at the end of season 1, so we'll see. Supergirl again, Supergirl is probably the best of the shows in terms of if you want a solid show, it's a solid show. The cast is good, the stories are good. They seem to be able to pull it together. To me, it's probably the best superhero show of the superhero shows. And so to me, yeah, it's a high recommend again. Last season was a high recommend. This season is a high recommend too. And it's funny because they're getting hit for all the lesbian and the trans stuff and all that stuff. And it's too bad because it's a solid show. It's interesting because it looks like it's going to be a mid-year or even later debut next year, because I don't know if you're aware, Melissa Benoist is pregnant.
Uh-oh. So, well, we'll just have to...
Right, so that'll back it up a little bit.
Or they'll do kind of like what they did with Nana Visitor and Deep Space Nine, or just film her from the waist up.
Wow, I think they're just delaying.
Oh yeah, they're delaying filming.
They're delaying. The Flash... It's funny because this is probably the most popular of the shows, and yet, God, I don't even know why I watch this show anymore. I swear to God, other than I like the characters, I don't know why I watch this show anymore. I just didn't care about the stories. Yeah. The stories were bad. They weren't good. I don't care about some of these villains.
Flash doesn't have a very interesting rogues gallery.
No, he's got a big rogues gallery, but they ran through it. They ran through it like crazy early on, and then they took one of the best ones, and they technically killed him off, and we haven't seen him. They sent him to Legends of Tomorrow, and we haven't seen him since.
Who would you say would be 3 of the Flash's best villains?
Look, obviously, Zoom is one. Zoom is one. Captain Cold is probably next, in my opinion. Those are the big ones. Are there other ones that are there? There's
Grodd.
There's Mirror Master.
Yeah.
There's Heat Wave. There's the Golden Glider, which is the sister of both Mick and it's either Mick's sister or Heatwave's sister, or it's Cold's sister. I can't remember which. There's. Oh, I'm sorry. What am I thinking? Top 3 is. What am I thinking? Duh. And then the reason is because we can't ever get a full season of this because they don't have enough budget. Top 3 would obviously be Zoom, Grodd, and Captain Cold.
Not Reverse Flash?
Isn't that Zoom?
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know. I just called him Reverse Flash.
Okay, Reverse Flash to me is Zoom.
Okay.
But that's just me. That's like a bar problem. Yeah, that's the...
Yeah, but Mirror Master could be cool, too.
They're kind of using Mirror Master now, and they've done a little bit of a spin with it, but I just have not found it.
Not engaging?
Well, they did half the season with one villain, and then they went to another villain. It's like they were buying time until Crisis, and then they went to a second set of villains, which is fine. It just I don't know. I didn't care for any of it. And it's like, I like the characters. I just cannot stand the stories. And I don't care anymore. And it's getting to the point where it's repetitive and boring, and I don't even know why I watch.
That's unfortunate.
Black Lightning had a solid season 3. Really solid. It bounced. It took a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time to get into it, but season 3 of Black Lightning is really, really good. It came around a great deal from season 2, where it just seemed to lose its way. But season 3 was really, really solid. I liked it a lot, and that's a high recommend too. Is Black Lightning. Legends of Tomorrow is still going on right now. I enjoy it, but I gotta be honest, it has not been nearly as funny and amusing as it used to be. And I think the other part is they've started creating their own heroes for that show, within that show. And that's fine, but part of the appeal to that show, at least in my opinion, is that you could pull a bunch of DC heroes that we don't normally get to see.
Yeah, you got third and fourth tier DC characters from buried in the comics from decades.
Right, that you could pull in and you could use there.
Yeah, like what they did with the Lego Batman movie.
Right. I mean, and for a while they were kind of doing some of that, where they would bring in some of those characters. But now they've kind of have their own, they've kind of created some of their own characters, and that's fine. But, like, for example, and this is just kind of what I've noticed, which is, okay, I'm kind of like looking at who's left on the team. It's like, okay, Steel is still there. Okay, cool. Sarah Lance is still there. But, and obviously Mick Rory, who's Heatwave, and they brought in Constantine. But there's a lot of other characters in there where it's like they've kind of created characters. And I guess that's okay. But there's a part of me where I'm kind of like, what would be great? What would be great is if you brought in some other characters. The other thing is I've kind of noticed that it seems like sometimes that show's skimping on budget. Like, they have the guy who plays Steel, and there's a lot of times where he's not using his powers.
Well, that's just, the constraints of budget, yeah.
Why? Or certain power, like, I've kind of noticed in some ways that the team is not as highly powered as they used to be, if you know what I mean. Like, certain power levels and certain things are not what they used to be on this team.
Well, they can't all have a Marvel Disney money.
Well, no, I mean in terms of, like, the power, like, they got rid of Ray Palmer, the Atom. Well, okay, there's another guy who had something with power. Okay, they got rid of Firestorm. Okay, you're getting rid of guys with high budget. That's the only way I can point it. It's like, it's just kind of weird.
Just their effects. Just like why there could not be... I think we even talked about this, they were talking about doing a Green Lantern series.
Yeah, that's going to be an HBO Max series, probably.
The budget would be too high. I said, just keep it in the animated realm.
Uh-huh. Well, they're going to do they're going to do it for Max, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have a huge budget for it.
Right.
And that'll be okay. In theory. We'll see. I'm crossing my fingers that they're going to use what's the name of the guy who played Diggle on Arrow. I hope they use him. He's great. And they already teased it, so I'm curious if they'll ever do anything with it. But we'll see if that ever comes. We'll see if that ever comes to pass.
We got any other news?
I feel like we do. I feel like there's something.
Want to touch on any of the post-mortem episode or news articles that have spawned from the backlash of the Last Dance?
Other than Horace Grant really went off on Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was going to bring up. So apparently, they're talking to somebody about Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, Jurassic World 3.
Yeah. So apparently, hold on a second. Where is it? I'm trying to make sure that I get this right.
Well, they filmed it, right? Because I know following Chris Pratt on Instagram.
They talked to...
That they finished filming, right?
Collider talked to their producer, Frank Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, this is the part that just blows my mind, which is that apparently Jurassic World 3 isn't really the end, that they think that they have another 6 movies from that movie.
Well, if they'll keep making the money, sure.
That apparently, whatever they're going to do in 3, that they can build it out, to where there's a possibility that, you get the idea.
Yeah, until the franchise dies or doesn't, until it underperforms, they can keep going. They'll keep, even if it's crap, they'll keep making it until it doesn't make money anymore.
And apparently Sony's working on a mystery Marvel project with somebody who was the director for Jessica Jones over at Netflix. So we don't know what it is. No idea. Trying to think of anything else.
Didn't they nixed that Howard the Duck series?
Yeah, that got
did.
nixed.
Yeah, that died, a couple months ago, I think.
Well,
before the COVID, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that
that was dead and buried.
A lot of that stuff went sideways with a lot of those kinds of projects. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I don't know. Like I said, I'm just kind of like throwing things out there at the moment. I guess Bill and Ted might go straight to video on demand.
Yeah, that's right. Didn't they? That's right. They did rap on that too. So
yeah, no, that's ready to go apparently.
Yeah, there weren't, and apparently Black Widow's still slated for August. Is that right? Or September?
Is it really? No, I thought they moved that back to next year.
Oh, maybe they did.
I think it's Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is slated for August.
Yeah. I saw the Hot Toys, the 1/6 scale of Wonder Woman in that golden armor.
Oh, yeah?
The big bird armor. I call it the big bird.
Big bird armor. That's awesome.
And, yeah, it looks, the head sculpts, they get that down pretty well over there. But
yeah.
It's a cool-looking figure. But, like, the figures, obviously the toys are, part of the merchandising. But merchandising. Spaceballs to flamethrower. And the thing is, now with all these films being delayed and the merchandising budgets are there, it's like the Scoob toys. I saw some of those in the store, and I was like, "Oh, cool, a Blue Falcon," or "Oh, cool, a Muttley."
Yeah,
yeah. But I heard mediocre things about the Scoob movie.
Well, you gotta pay $20 right now. I'm like, forget it, no way.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
I'll wait till it comes out for $6.
Or if I can rent it for like $3, $4, $5, sure.
Yeah, if I can pick it up out of
if I can get a value meal out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. But I'm not paying.
No, I'm not paying $20 not to rent. Yeah.
Nope, not at all. A couple other things. Now that I'm thinking about it. One, there's talk of there not being an Academy Awards next year.
Next year in March?
Yeah, because.
Well, let's see what happens if we're going to get a second or a third wave of this.
Well, not
bullshit.
even that. We've missed a whole bunch of months.
A bunch of movies. Yeah, right. Might as well skip the Oscars this year, or pull them, or pull them both and do one in 2022 and include all the stuff in 2021 or 2021.
I guess, but basically, with the way things are going, really the movies went in halt somewhere in February, and that means that you're going to have a big slate of movies late, and if any. And nobody's really sure, so I guess there's talk of, why do we, maybe we don't have an Oscars in 2021. The other thing is, Gen Con did finally get canceled.
Yeah, we saw this coming.
And apparently there's going to be a virtual Gen Con the same weekend, but I have not heard details yet. I actually talked to its owner, Peter Atkinson, this week. He's like, yeah, details will be out soon. So that'll be...
Yeah, of course, with, we're already in late May, and, by now we'd be talking about what the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives are becoming.
So here's the crazy one. This is why I'm glad you brought up the San Diego Comic-Con. Get this.
All right, I'll get it.
because I want to hear about this. This came out last week. The Tampa Bay Comic-Con is going to continue on, and it's this July.
Okay.
July 10th through 12th.
Well, Florida's, right now Florida's been doing good because it's like, what the problem is that all these people coming from out of state. Florida by itself.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, they're talking about that apparently this convention attracts 45 to 60,000 fans, vendors, and celebrities each year.
A lot of celebrities are going to cancel.
And they are.
You're going to see them all on a big screen TV instead of just sitting at a table, shaking hands and signing people's crap. It's not crap. I mean, like people's merchandise and all that. Or just buy a pre-signed 8x10, And you can't get photographs with the celebrities now. It's too dangerous.
Yeah, no,
they don't want, get your arm around their shoulder and get a picture for $200. No one's there. No one's going to pay to do that. No one's going to want. The celebrities aren't going to want to have that.
Yeah, especially some of the older ones. I mean,
yeah, right.
It's like George Takei. Is that a good idea?
No, not for the older fans. Absolutely
right.
not.
No, absolutely. No. Well, yeah, or the older.
So it's going to change the celebrity dynamic, but at least the vendors will still, I guess, try and sell their wares. But I don't know.
I'm looking at here.
I'm interested to see how they handle it.
This is from. Let's see. This is from Tampa Bay Business Journal. Okay, so apparently, some of the things they said the event staff and convention center taking the following safety measures: temperature screenings, which will be mandatory for all occupants prior to entering Tampa Convention Center, has increased cleanings, disinfection procedures, and high traffic areas such as elevators, escalators, handrails, benches, tables. You get the idea. Hand sanitizing stations will be set through the pre-function space and high traffic areas at entrance points. Interior occupancy of the exhibit hall, ballrooms, meeting rooms will be strictly limited with one-way in. I guess they're going to have one-way for. You get
one way in, one way out. Right.
One way in, one way out. According to the site, celebrity guests such as Tom Felton, which is the guy who played Draco Malfoy, some people from the It movie franchise, and Paul Bettany, who plays Vision, and Kevin Nash are supposedly supposed to be there. The site does not know if the celebrities' appearances have changed due to the pandemic. I
wouldn't bet on getting autographs that weekend.
I'm curious how many people are really going to go.
We'll see.
I wouldn't go. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. No way.
Yeah, I got friends,
would you go?
like by October, we're supposed to have a TFCon in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And I have friends who be like, nope, not doing it. I'm like, okay, we'll see. Well, how things are by October.
Right. It's a little ways off.
We don't know.
But July.
Yeah, July is like a month away.
Yeah,
literally, like a month and a week.
Yeah, so. No way. No. That's...
We're still kind of in the heat of things, so.
And you're talking about 40... We see what people are like at the store. Can you imagine 45,000 to 60,000 people at a game
if they're
comic
all
convention?
Wearing masks
in Florida?
In Florida, or in 100 degrees. And
you think they're going to wear masks in Florida?
If it's an indoor air-conditioned facility.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good luck.
Listen,
they're not wearing masks down there.
Three or four of these people every day would wear the mask over their mouth and not their nose.
Right.
I see it every day.
Look, we've seen the pictures of people at the beach in Florida.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
If you think that this is going to be any different?
No, we'll see.
Yeah, like I said,
we'll see how they handle it.
I'm curious if they really get 45 to 60,000.
Well, they've said they're limiting maximum occupancy, so.
Right, that'll be interesting too, because
what's it going to cut that in half? And it's like.
Notice, there's nothing about you need to wear a mask. Oh,
they're not. Well, yeah. I mean, Wisconsin lifted that. We had a flea market just over the border in Wilmont. Mm-hmm. Had opened their flea market yesterday for the first time. And looking at the pictures, a vast majority of people are not wearing masks. And this is outdoors.
Right.
But still.
But if you're that close to each other, you should be...
Or at least you're wearing gloves or something. But
right.
when it's warm out like this, I don't know, we'll see how they handle the logistics of it. And that'll set a precedent, at least in the short term.
Yeah.
Until we get some kind of treatment or a vaccine, then this is how things are going to be for a little while.
Yeah. By the way, when you get a chance, I did drop something on the Squares page about, I guess, Kate Mulgrew did an interview about Voyager and how it might work to bring it back, or who knows.
Yeah, because it was 25 years ago, the season... Did it end 25 years ago?
I'm not sure.
Let me look here on this article is on the Squares Roundtable Facebook page. If those are inclined to listen or view or check our articles, reunion. Why would Delicious play Janeway again from Trek movie? I don't know. We had her as a cameo in was it Nemesis, where she did a cameo. She talked on the screen with Picard for a second or two.
Okay.
It was either Insurrection or Nemesis where Picard talked to Admiral Janeway, and that was it. That was the last we saw of Admiral Janeway. And I was hoping, who knows, maybe like Patrick Stewart Sir Patrick Stewart keeps dropping little hints about season 2 of Picard that who might be coming in, maybe Guinan. Because he was on The View one time, and he invited her to come on the show, and the fate of Geordi, and maybe Worf, and maybe Wesley, and who knows. But anyway, so yeah, Star Trek, that's all on BR too, and I'm looking forward to any other content, especially that Lower Decks animated series that they teased like a year ago that we haven't heard anything about. So yeah, give me, there's still a good time to have things in the works because all that can be, and they can gauge the foot traffic from the news sites or the message board comments or whoever they're gauging to see what they should make next or what route they should take next with what character on what show. Let the nerds have their thing.
Yeah, have a poll.
Yeah, right.
Have a poll. Have a giant poll.
The new character will be Bodie McBoatface, right?
Yeah, seriously. See, that's the problem too.
Yeah, that's the problem. Which trolls?
That's the other problem.
They get the very beginning of that before in the early days of the internet when we had American Idol and they had websites dedicated to voting for the worst idol.
Yeah, Howard Stern did that too.
Yeah,
That's why I always laugh about when Howard Stern was on America's Got Talent.
Yeah,
and it's like, so you're gonna tell people to vote for the worst people now again? After he literally got... Who was the one guy? There was a guy on American Idol. I can't remember. I want to say his name was Sanjaya or something like that.
Yeah, Sanjaya. Yeah, I remember that one year.
Where he wasn't very good.
He wasn't very good. He made it pretty far too.
Well, he made it pretty far because there was a
campaign.
There was a campaign about vote for the worst one and let's have fun with this.
I think that was the name of the website too. Was Vote for the Worst.
Yeah, or something like that, yeah.
Well, fan polls, can have their good and bad, so...
Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, I love Mick Foley to death, but that one year where apparently he won Time Man of the Year. Or he was supposed to win Times Man of the Year.
Matt Foley?
Mick Foley.
Motivational speaker?
Yeah, no, Mick Foley, the
Mick Foley. I thought you said, my name is Matt Foley.
No, Mick Foley, the professional wrestler.
Oh, okay, all right.
Got enough votes for...
He was in a van down by the river. Okay.
Yeah, that guy. No, not that guy.
So we got anything else for you, or what?
I don't...
I think...
Hey, did you grill at all this weekend? No?
Yeah, I did make steaks earlier tonight.
Oh.
My sister did the grocery shopping, and she paid way too much money for them, but we didn't complain while we were eating them.
Nope.
So they were good.
Never do.
Baked potatoes and steamed broccoli was really good.
See, we can do it against the steamed broccoli, but we'll take
I like
that
steamed.
potato.
I like broccoli. What's your favorite vegetable? If you have one.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What's your go-to vegetable for a steak?
No. If I can, asparagus.
I see. I'm not big on asparagus.
I'll put them in. I'll take a little butter, some garlic powder, a little bit of.
What's your preferred potato? Just baked?
Baked is fine.
Yeah, baked.
I'll go a lot of directions. It's potato. It's.
If I can get mashed, I'll get mashed, but a baked potato will do.
Yeah, I'll take mashed. I'll take baked. If you want to give me tater tots, that's okay too.
Tater tots is good. Do you take you eat the skin?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, most times I do. It depends on how hungry I am. It's like, most times I just leave the skin, but sometimes I'll eat it if I'm like really hungry.
I'll do broccoli. I'm not that problematic with it, but yeah,
carrots?
what
about carrots?
All right, carrots.
Cauliflower?
I'll admit I'm very much throw some green pepper, throw some onions, throw some celery in a pan, kind of cook them up and, put something together like that.
Really thin string beans, like the thinnest they have. Then I like those beans. But the thicker beans, they get kind of meaty, or peas. I'm not big on peas.
Pea pods.
Yeah, I'm not big on peas.
See, pea pod. Well, no, but pea pods are different than peas.
Yeah. Yeah, because they got that outer husk.
Yeah, because that's not really like pea.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't even have the peas in them. They just have the pods.
Hmm.
If you could soak that in like some soy sauce or something like that, those are good. Yeah. So when you're cooking it, so what was it? Was it ribeye? What'd you guys get?
It was filet.
Oh yeah, fillets are good.
It was like half, I guess the butcher counter was half empty because they leave it in the back.
Sure.
Because they don't really want to sell it if they can, because they'd rather sell the stuff they do make money on. Because that's why they had to mark it up, because of the whole crisis now. But you hear the stories about how the distribution is off, and so the beef prices are going up. And these prices were a little high for store-bought beef, but was really good, though, because I guess I did an okay job. So
good deal.
Yeah, man.
What do you use for cooking with? What do you season?
Just regular seasoning, celery salt, and I used to have some Weber Chicago-style seasoning that I used to put on beef, but I usually just save those for burgers.
The last time I did it, I had this. And in fairness, we don't have a grill, so I had to do them. I had to do them on the burner. So, but the last time I did it,
in the broiler.
No, not necessarily broiler. I just pan. I had to, basically I pan cooked it
on a pan. Okay, that's fine.
Pan,
right.
which is
you work with what you got.
Yeah, full burners, but you had to do a pan. But I found this. It's this butter it's like garlic. It's garlic parmesan basil. Oh. So what I did was, Mike already sees where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Which is, I was using that with the ribeye that I had, and I kind of basted it on that, and then I cooked it with that, and then I used a little bit of garlic powder, and then I basically seasoned it with some salt and pepper, and it came out. Wow, it came out real well. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
That butter was to it.
Yeah, there's this. I saw a point about this today about Happy Memorial Day. It's like, well, how can you say Happy Memorial Day? Because that's how you celebrate the lives of those who fell. To celebrate America, celebrate our freedoms, and to honor those we lost with celebration, because that's what they'd want. They'd want to celebrate this great country and not. It's and you know what? One thing too is that I don't live out. This is suburbia too, but we still got we got a couple of towns nearby, and they think it's the 4th of July, and they had a lot of fireworks last night, actually. Like a lot of booms going off, out in the distance. So it's like, it's not the 4th of July, but people just cooped up. They're tired of being cooped up. They want to party.
Well, keep in mind, too, I know some cities around
some have
here
Memorial Day fireworks, yeah.
are not only that, but with the fact that there's nothing that they can really, these kids can't celebrate graduation and whatnot. They've kind of done some of that, too.
Yeah, my niece had, both my nieces. One graduated high school, the other one graduated college. No ceremony. Right.
Well, like the village that I live in, they had a whole thing where it was like, at a certain time in the night, everybody was supposed to honk and be outside and all that kind of stuff, and people were driving around honking all over the place, and there were some fireworks that went off, and it's like, you know what, can't fault it, fair enough.
And we're seeing I've seen a couple of these already in my neighborhood, but we've had like drive-through birthday parades.
Yep, that too.
I saw my friend's daughter got married on Facebook Live 2 weeks ago. So, the ceremony's in September, but at least it was good that they had, some kind of service.
Yeah.
Because they did, go to the Justice of the Peace and all that, and they had all the papers signed, and so they had a priest out there, and they took pictures with masks, for the album, because to remind
I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, this is just crazy shit we're living in. Hopefully we'll get back to normal soon enough. Wouldn't be soon enough.
Or at least get to somewhere where we can all be alive.
Be safe.
Yeah, be safe and be good. But yeah, I think that's. So we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, where you can find all the stories. And shout out to Scott. Scott. We should have brought Scott on tonight. I forgot. I didn't think about it. Well, we didn't know.
No, we didn't
have. Us, we could have brought on Scott.
Yeah, man. 3 hours before we broadcast. No, that's not a broadcast. It's a recording. But
yeah, well, it is kind of
3 hours in. It's like, oh yeah, are we recording tonight?
Yeah. So,
we record every Monday, and of course, we're on YouTube. Click the bell, subscribe. You get no content there. Of course, check out our Facebook page, and you can download this show on Apple, PodBean, Anchor, Google, Spotify. And, of course, email us if you want to contact us, or send them a direct message through Facebook. That'd be good, too.
Yeah.
sotrtpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, no, I just kind of find it funny because, it's a thing, Mike. I kind of laugh because we've had this conversation before on Memorial Day where I'm like, are we doing a show? And you guys are like, oh, yeah, we're going to do a show. And, like, Ivan's like, what's the big deal? We can do a show. I seem to remember that. And it's like, this is the one time where I'm like, well, it's not like anything's going on today.
We're
anyway.
not, I know. Like, I cooked out, and we had an early dinner, and then I took a nap.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no one's over. No one's,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be, really. So we're just not. So, but of all holiday weekends, Ivan be all like, no plans? Okay. Well, anyway,
really,
we'll see.
seriously.
Ivan will be back next week, and we're going to get him some shit for it. So get ready, my friend.
Well, you know what's really happening? He's probably like half naked in his apartment, playing all kinds of records, and just like hanging back or something like that.
Yeah, you can check him out on Twitch. That's Jive and Ivan with an A. That's JAVANIVAN on twitch.tv or download the app and find Ivan spinning records. Great tunes. Trust me, it's awesome. Maybe not so awesome to watch him eat blueberry pie while he's spinning records.
He didn't really do that, did he?
Yes, he did.
Ah, Ivan.
Scott sent me a message saying, now he's eating blueberry pie. My God. Ivan, eat off camera, please. Eat off camera.
Oh, dude, he just...
Hey, man, it's his channel. He'd do what he wants.
I know, but it's like, dude, how do you think anybody's going to watch your channel if you're busy eating blueberry pie in the middle of it? Give me
I replied to Scott saying, call him DJ Buffet.
Oh, my God, that's horrible. It's horrible, but it's true.
It's like,
I mean, I'm
like
a lot.
John Belushi's scene in the cafeteria at Animal House where he's piling up the tray. And you hear in Sam Cooke's Wonderful World.
I'm like, it's like, Ivan, put down the donut. I don't get it. It's like, I mean, I keep saying this, but it's like...
It's a professional broadcast.
Mike, didn't he teach us about broadcasting?
He didn't teach me.
No. I mean, like, I remember, like, about the importance of being professional, being a legitimate broadcaster.
Well,
you know,
that's out the window, so...
Yeah, no shit.
And we out the window. Enjoy your week.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
we'll catch you next time.
With DJ Buffet. Blueberry pie. I can't believe it.